Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. How are you? How are you? Sorry I haven't been around for the last couple of days. Can I just quickly get a mic check? A mic check. Because Bugsy Malone has stolen my mic. And we know we've got a Lisp problem going on with the internal computer. And we had some problems. So I had to go back to this bad boy right in your face. It's like having a giant fucking schlong. Which, for what it's worth, is kind of reminiscent about what I feel about Ange Postecoglou's interview and what it was that Gary Neville et al. Were doing to the Ange Postecoglou commentary. It was insane. Absolutely insane. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Let me know if the not the stammer. I'm struggling already. The lisp. It has the lisp gone. I hope so. I hope so. It's absolutely I've had a horrible sort of 24 hours with this computer. So I've had to go and buy a new computer for the virtual the AI thing. Is it all good? Is it good to see you? Good to see you. So I've ordered a new computer, and this Mac that I've got. Well, hackers are going to hack. Well, guess what? In the last 24 hours, first of all, the keyboard stopped working. Second of all of the data just disappeared from my computer. Thirdly, I couldn't then reinstall the Mac because my internet apparently was blocked. I've spoken to my Wi-Fi people today. Apparently there's 25 different devices attached to my network, and I live in a house with about 4 devices. So hackers are going to hack. The hackers haven't gone. They're back, baby. They're back. But we don't care. We don't care. Okay? Because if these people are that clever, they know what they're doing. All they're going to do if they look into my life is find me looking at YouTube, doing content. I watch conspiracy content. I watch news. And I watch Tottenham. That's it. That is the extent of my life. But yeah, they didn't. They decided to get a little bit frisky in the last 24 hours to screw. Does it sound lispy? Does it still sound lispy? Does it? For God's sake! Maybe I've just got a lisp. Anyway. How are we doing? Can we change the metaphor? No, we can't change the metaphor. Because that's what I feel like it's been going on. I watched the part 2 of Ange Postecoglou, and I'm disgusted, if I'm honest. I'm disgusted at the gall on the human being. I'm disgusted with it. Like the amount of softball questions that were thrown up to him. I mean, listen, he's a salesman, right? He's a salesman. If you're just going to sit there and be a nodding dog, okay, Ange. No, listen, let's not talk about the fact that you lost 41 games out of 60 or whatever it was. Let's not talk about the fact that, you lost 6 or 7 games out of 8 out of Nottingham Forest. I mean, some of the notes I've taken here just from this particular show, right? Just unbelievable. Anyway, we're going to come to all of that. We're going to come to it. I cannot believe, probably Spurs King, probably, mate. I cannot believe that either them or Tottenham hackers, still got a pretty strong suspicion that the latest hackers that I've got to deal with are actually people in the Tottenham community who don't like to hear a thing or two about Daniel Levy not being the problem about a thing or two. You know what I mean? If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Anyway, how's everybody doing, guys? Don't forget, smash the granny out of the like button. Smash the subscribe if you haven't already. We are on the march to 43K. And any help in that regard would be much appreciated. We've also got to talk a little bit. Is it about this one here? He's a Forest man, isn't he? No, he's a Liverpool man. Matt L, Liverpool FC Bournemouth. So we're not going to talk about him. Or their chat, or their. I thought I saw an Arsenal shirt there for a second, my man, Matt. I thought I saw an Arsenal, my man. Big up to you, Matt. We've got to talk a bit about Arsenal, haven't we? The bottle job is on. Everybody, rock your body. Let's get ready. Oh, Jesus, look at that, boy. Look at that. Forget about the magnums, but look at the shirts I've got up there. Got a little Hamburg, a little Roma, secondclubfc.com. Now, let's bring it back to Butler. He talked a little bit about Forest. Cam. He talked a little bit about Forest. I'm going to get into it, mate. But listen, what he actually said about Forest was the only thing that he took on his own. He goes, it's just me being a bozo with my strategy, joining the football club when they had 4 away games in the first 7. I mean, do me a favor. Everyone's going to have either 4. Hang on a second. Everybody is going to have either 4 away games or 3 away games in the first 7. I mean, the shamelessness. He also said, my wife's theory is that the fans never took to me because it was too close a proximity to Tottenham. But, I want to work, mate. I want to work. What else did he say? I'm a vociferous reader of football. I'm a vociferous gatherer of football. If there's a game of football on, I watch it. So does 99% of people that are watching this chat. I'll tell you one thing you didn't do, Ange. You didn't watch training. You didn't watch the training, did you? We've heard those stories. You sat, when winter came in your first season, you sat in your office and had a mocha choca frocca latte and watched the training from the cameras. I mean, it's just not a single question. Not a single question from Righty, not Roy Keane, not Ange Postecoglou, not the girl, not Gary Neville, not Carragher. None of them said any chance, Ange, that maybe you were justified in your sacking at Tottenham or that you were justified in your sacking at Forest. He tried to get away with it. Let's not talk about Forest, mate, because the interview will go longer than I was there. But he tried to blame the fact that he walked into the job with 4 away games. Strategically, it was a mistake. And people lap it up. Listen, he's a very likable person. He's very likable. If I met him, I'm sure he would wine me and wouldn't dine me or wine me, but we'd have a beer and we'd have a great time. And I wouldn't ask him a difficult question because I wouldn't want to upset the guy who's such a nice person. But he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. It's an insanely self-preservation mode level of behavior. And there was not a single hardball question. Not one. And I look at the comments. In fact, I want to bring it up. Is it still on the screen? Is it still here? Yeah, look, let's bring it up, right? I can't obviously play it, but look at the comments. And again, like I say, I'm not having a crack for having a crack's sake. I'm having a crack because I just think it's shameless as a Tottenham fan. Look at the comments. Niall McLaughlin, Big Ange is absolutely class. Even the overlap have loved it, right? Hearted it. 900 likes. What an episode. What a man. The portion about his father and childhood is touching and resonates with many people. 100%. Right? Yeah, he some of the stuff. I'm not sitting there criticizing all of it. Some of the stuff he said was great to listen to. His father didn't have a great relationship with him, or he's too busy, so he put him in a certain scenario, which was easier for immigrants into Australia. Lovely stories. I've got no problem with any of that stuff. I just got a problem with the fact that at no point in either interview did he take any accountability for the fact that he lost far more games than he won. Did he ever acknowledge the fact that Micky van der Ven... where was the question from Gary Neville? Where was the question from Carragher or Righty? Hey, by the way, Micky van der Ven kind of said the same thing as what we'd heard from senior reporters and from Romero, that actually, they were giving you signals, that they spoke to you about the fact that it wasn't sustainable doing it your method. As much as your method is appealing, it wasn't working. Where was the acknowledgement? Where was the question about it? Where was the acknowledgement of it or the dismissal of it? Where was the denial of it? Nothing. In 2 episodes of content, all you heard was why it's not my fault, why it's the other club's fault. The only fault I'm taking is for choosing when to join Forest, and that part of the reason why the fans didn't take to me was because it was too close to the Tottenham. How about part of the reason why the fans didn't take to you was because you never won a game? You didn't win a game. Rule 1 of making people like you: give them a reason to like you. other than saying the word mate in a lovely way a few times. Sorry, listen, I'm not like other channels where they're concerned about the Australian contingent that are watching this and saying, oh, I've got to make sure I don't piss off the Australians because they bring views. Okay, I'm not trying to, I love Australians. I live there happiest years of my life, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like something is dark when it's daytime. I'm not going to tell you that it's, you know, something is steak when it's not. Like, what are we doing here? Like, his interview technique is phenomenal, but the interviewer's technique is a disgrace. Each day, I thank God that this man managed Spurs and won a trophy. From Chickling, 459 likes. Sack this man for Thomas Frank. Unbelievable, says Joe Williams. WCG Backyard Cricket says South Melbourne trophies. Brisbane Roar trophies. Australia trophies. Yokohama F. Marinos trophies. Celtic trophies. Tottenham trophies. Didn't include Nottingham Forest, did you, mate? You didn't include Nottingham Forest to make your point. Ange is a legend, says Kevin Lee. Perfect timing, lads. Kettle is bored. Let's go. The players always backed Ange. Well, actually, that's not true, Snacky. It's not true. I mean, the players liked him, but the players had to step in. The tail wagged the dog. The tail wagged the dog. Again, I'm not hating on him. I never fell out of love with his football. I appreciated his football. But I'm not going to sit here and just pretend like this isn't some massive whitewashing of what actually happened. It's mental. Absolutely mental. You know? Big up to everyone. How's everyone doing anyway? Let me do some. Let me do the ad thing, guys. Today's video is sponsored by OK Jersey Football and Sports Clothing. If that's your clobber, if that's your gear, if that's your get up, then you know where to go. Go to OK Jersey, and if you search for them on Google, you'll find a couple of options. Get yourself there. Get whatever you want, branded, unbranded stuff. Go to code Sean at checkout for 8% off, the best prices in town. And you can get yourself the latest and greatest in international clobber as well. If that's what your jam is, wherever you're watching this from. If you're American and you're watching this, a lot of Americans are watching this. If you're Australian and watching this, you're probably going to dislike the video. But don't forget, you can still get yourself a nice clobber for the World Cup. Oh, Australia in the World Cup? I think there might be. There must be. Everyone's in the World Cup, aren't they? Let's be entirely honest. I mean, also the way he presented Australia as some minnow in sporting things. Oh yeah, you know, mate, we're always the underdog. Australia's always the underdog in cricket, in tennis. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Australia has always been an unbelievable sporting because the work-life culture over there is fantastic. There might be 20 million Australians, not 60 million or 350 million like America. But let's not pretend like Australia are minnows. They're one of the best in cricket. They've always had a fantastic tennis repertoire. Yeah, maybe football they've fought and struggled amongst it. But in all of the sports that are their A, Bs, and Cs, rugby, for example, all of the Antipodean sports, they're monsters at. Like it just, I can't believe that he was saying these things that are just patently not true, patently false, patently like perspective driven by the guy who wears the Ange shaded goggles. And not one of the 5 people that were listening and they were asking the questions, or 4 of them, however many there were, challenged him on anything. They didn't challenge him on anything. I've lost all respect for Gary Neville because he put him in front of someone that's a smooth talker, bit of a wheeler dealer. Oh, no. Why is that, Ange? Why didn't the Nottingham Forest fans take to you? Oh, mate, it's probably because it was too close to the Tottenham thing and maybe I just strategically chose the wrong time to be there. Maybe it's because you lost every fucking game, bro. Maybe you need to give the fans a reason to buy in, you know? Maybe, just maybe, you didn't know what you were doing when you got there. You didn't do anything good. Maybe that's the reason why they didn't buy. If you started your time at Forest with a couple of wins away from home, maybe, just maybe, the Forest fans would sing your name. You know? The only reason Tottenham took to you, mate, was because you got 8 wins out of 10 in your first. That's how it works. That's not racist. That's not selfish. That's not missing the that's nothing. That is literally how it works. You are the manager of our football club. You're paid £7-8 million a year. You got to prove it. And if you do, we'll back you. If you don't, we won't. That's kind of how it works. And it's the same everywhere in life. It's the same if you're a salesman in a phone company. It's the same if you're a salesman in a car company. It's the same if you're a manager of a tech company. It's the same in anything. If you do your job well, you're going to get time, you're going to earn some bonus points, and you're going to get some patience, and you're going to get some gratitude and some favor. If you don't, you won't. But he's making out like it's nothing to do with his performance. For fuck's sake. I mean, come on. Come on. And people are like lapping it up. Lapping it up. I saw Mark Goldbridge saying, oh, Andrew's telling the truth. It's so unique to see a guy. Is it? Is it really unique to see a jilted ex call out the ex-partner that didn't want to be with them anymore and not reflect on them in the highest line? Is it really unique to sit there and pretend like it's not your fault and that it's someone else's fault as to why you didn't get what you wanted or why you weren't respected or why you got sacked? Is it really unique, or is it more common than anything else? More common than night and day that individuals don't want to take accountability for why they didn't get an unbelievably free layup of value and appreciation from people that have no business in just delivering value that hasn't been earned. If you fuck up in life, you're going to get heat. If you do well, if you punch above your weight, people are going to warm to you. That's how it works. It's nothing to do with anything else. It doesn't matter your color, your skin. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter the fact that you're Australian, you talk with an inflection in your voice and you say the word mate every 5 seconds. That's not the reason people didn't take to you. If you come in and you smash it, you're golden. If you come in and you don't, you're fucked. That's how it works. That's called meritocracy. Meritocracy. And this guy tells a story, spins a yarn in an unbelievable way, and the 4 or 5 people sit at his desk, stuffing their face with coffees and croissants. No. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. No, really impressive, mate. Come off it. I'd have so much more respect for the guy if he went, look, I did what no one else has done. You know what? Couldn't do it all. The club asked me to compete on all fronts, but they actually said, you have to focus on the trophy. Cool. I'll buy on that. But you know what? I probably thought that my process of like gung-ho football with strategic process, maybe it was a little bit, maybe at this level, it's a little bit naive. Maybe I've learned from that. Maybe if I get another crack at the whip, I'll come in with a slightly more like mature and nuanced approach. I will never give up who what I want to be as a manager, because that was instilled in me from when I had the Puskas guy come into Australia and he knew a little bit of Greek and all that stuff. Maybe that stuff's rubbed off on me. So I'll never fully diverge from that method. I'll never fully abdicate that thing, because that you have to have some principle, and that's my principle. But you know what? Maybe at the highest level, you have to dial it down a little bit. Just tailor it to, like, you could have the nicest suit in the world, right? The nicest cloth, 1,000 threads. You go to Savile Row, and if you buy that suit when you're 15 stone, and you know what? At the Premier League, you've got to be 12 stone. If I don't dial that thing in, tailor that suit a little bit better, it's going to look baggy and it's going to look silly. Have a little bit of kind of like a little bit of appreciation that maybe, just maybe, you weren't perfect, and all of the things that happened around you that resulted in micro levels of failure week after week after week. Maybe, just maybe, some of those were down to your own frailties, your own flaws. None of us are perfect, Ange. Maybe I wouldn't. Maybe 100%. I'd sit and go, fair enough, mate. Great salesman. I appreciate what you did. Well done for you. Got it done. Let's not forget that Micky van der Ven already said why it was that you adapted the Europa League football. If you carried on doing the football the way you were doing it, with no chance we would have won it, in my opinion. You could disagree, but let's not pretend like your gung-ho Puskas thing was was how you got through the Europa League, because it wasn't. And anyone that's got a memory, anyone that's got like a couple of brain cells between their ears could see that the game changed. Anyone that was paying attention saw Romero do the signal at Frankfurt. He did it in the final against United. And as soon as he did it, guess what happened? Ange changed the tactics. When he said, it's just who we are, mate, we're never going to change. Well, you did change. You did change, not because you wanted to, but because you were asked to by the senior members of the squad. And that got you the win. But you're pretending it was all you. And by the way, you throw the club under the bus who bought the players who did that for you. Like, it's shameless. It's obnoxious. The audacity of it is insulting. And I've lost more respect for him. And I don't care if half of, like, the Anzac region dislikes it. I know what's going to happen. The dislikes button's going to be smashed. Smash it. Couldn't give a fuck. Okay, it's not personal. I love Australians. I love them. I would love Ange if I met him personally, but I'm not an idiot. And if you are an idiot, only idiots would fall for the bollocks that he spoke about. Honestly, that's how I feel. It's wound me up. It's wound me up. 2 episodes, not a single acknowledgement of any wrongdoing. Not a single question from those donuts on that channel. Not a single question that asked whether he was maybe at fault. Not a single challenge. Hang about, Ange. Like, any other manager in history who got 38 points like you did would be in the championship this season. What do you say to that? None of it. They gobbled it up like they did their pan au chocolats. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know who I respect less after that show. Gary Neville, Roy Keane's supposed to be, be a baby. Yeah, what are you doing, you baby? Don't be a baby, babies. All that shit. Roy Keane's supposed to be the kind of cut through the bollocks. Didn't cut through any bollocks. He swallowed them. It's mental. Absolutely mental. I've got some super chats. Another one that's mental is my man, Box Kev. Big up to you, Box Kev. You're mental, mate, with your generosity, my man. I appreciate you very much indeed. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're okay, bro. I want to get you on the show at some point, my man. I know you're not there yet with your Tottenham love and your Tottenham confidence, but whenever you're ready, mate, come out your shell, my man. But I appreciate you very much indeed, my man. Appreciate you very much indeed. Thank you again, once again. Hope you're okay. Very cool. Chew Deeney's in the house. Big up to Chew. Where's my Chew? Big up to the Chew. How are you, buddy? Oh, only one. Big up to you, Dino. Thank you very much indeed, my man. Appreciate you, buddy. And my man, Bourbon Buzzard. I want to reach out. Can you email me? Actually, I'll email you, mate. I'll email you. I want to organize a trip to come and see what we spoke about. I'd love to come and meet you. Bring my mum with me as well. She'd love to come and see what it is that you do. So it'd be an awesome day out. Buddy. Thank you very much indeed, my man. Appreciate you. Let's see what the chat is saying. How many people have I pissed off already? Let's have a look. Goldbridge is an idiot. He's not an idiot. He's a very smart guy. He's very funny. He's very entertaining. He's very good. But his take on the Ange Postecoglou thing was absolutely one-sided beyond belief. And it questions why. He can see through that shit. Sure, he's not a donut. He's not an idiot. Like, there's some people that I meet, I listen to their opinions and go, okay, listen, I wouldn't expect you to see both sides because I just don't, I don't think that you're maybe capable of it or, at that stage. But whatever, to each their own. But people like him, very bright, very smart, very intelligent, very well, like one of the best, if not the best content creator in football. But he chooses to pick that particular viewpoint and say, oh, it's amazing insight into the world of managers. We don't often get to see the world of managers after the fact because they all sign NDAs. Yeah. Is that it? So because it's a rare insight into it, we just dismiss all of the potential nuances of the agendas that they want to present themselves and just assume it's true. Do me a fucking favor. I don't know what to say about that. It's the worst take ever. I'm not saying that he's necessarily cut. Like, generally, I'm not saying that people always come with an agenda. Most of the time they do. I'm coming at this, I would hope, with as free from an agenda as possible, but I'm sure I do have an agenda a little bit, even though I never hated Ange. I never hated him. I never hated his style of football. I never resented him. I just fell out of love once I realized the salesman in him and the fact that it's just, I can deflect and defer and guide and die. It's like fucking whoosh, whoosh. The bullets are flying at me. Let me dance this way and that. Once I saw through it, I was like, oh, okay, you're just a salesman. And I'm very familiar with salespeople. So now I don't expect to hear anything that's actually authentic. I don't see anything that's going to be sincere. It's just going to be a very clever, polished method of making sure that you are not responsible for the things that were poor, but you are taking all of the accountability for the things that were great. He took all of the credit for doing something that no one at Tottenham's done in 40 years, despite the fact that where was the questions about that? Where were the questions from Gary Neville or Ian Wright or Roy Keane or Jamie? And I forget the lady's name. Yeah, I quite like the lady. I don't know what her name is. Jill, is it? Jill or something? Where were there was 5 of them sitting there? Not one of them thought to say, just out of curiosity, Micky van der Ven came on was it a similar show? Was it that show or another one? He said, kind of us that did it. Again, maybe it wasn't. Maybe Micky van der Ven was taking credit for something that he didn't do, right? Again, question the motivations of the messenger. Question them. Challenge them. Don't assume anyone is ever saying anything free from compromise, okay? Whether you're compromised by somebody else or you're compromised by your own ego, never assume anything is free from compromise and just 100% true, authentic, and real. Never do that. Doesn't mean that they're not, but just always consider whether they are or they aren't. Maybe Micky van der Ven came with it. But okay, so cool. So that's possible. So ask the question. Ask the question. Hey, Ange, you're taking credit for something that no one else at Tottenham has done. By the way, well done for that. Love it. Just out of curiosity, why was it that you played gung-ho football the entire time with a back four, inverted fullbacks the entire time, and then as it came to crunch, as we got to the pointy end of the wedge, the business end of the wedge, why was it that we suddenly changed? Why did you change to back 3 in football matches when you didn't do it? You did it once. You did it once in 2 years, Everton away. You did it once in 2 years. You did it for 45 minutes. We were 3-0 down at halftime. You shelved it and you never did it again. And then all of a sudden, towards the pointy end of the season, you started doing it in the second half of international games, of European games. Why? Why? By the way, just before you answer that, a couple of your ex-players, well, they said that it was them. It was them that gave those signals. It was them that asked to be more considerate, more consistent with formats of football that are a little bit different to your one version, your one iota of an idea. Like, who are they right? Where was the questions? Where were the questions? There was no questions. It was just layup after layup after layup. Okay, no, we're going to take your word for it. And then the Goldbridges of the world and everybody else and everyone that's an Angephile, everyone that's an Angesexual, whatever you want to call them, all of the content goes, oh, this guy speaks the truth. Does he? Come on. Come on now. I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know what we're doing. I'm not saying he's lying. I'm saying there was no challenge on it. There's no challenge. It's like being in a police interview. Were you at the scene of the crime that day? No. Okay. All right, well then. Thanks for letting us know. And we will, well, wish you well. What the fuck are we doing here? Challenge the narrative. Ask some questions, some follow-up, some feedback. It's an interview, mate. It's a massive interview. It's the biggest podcast. And Ange Postecoglou has thrown our club under the bus, taken all the credit, none of the accountability, dismissed absolutely every bit of mud throwing that's come his way. Like fucking, what's his name? The Karate Kid's sensei, Miyagi, Mr. fucking Miyagi, wax on, wax off, right? It's outrageous. It's outrageous. DCI Butler, you may fold under questioning. 100%, mate. But I would love to be. I would in a different world, if I was to be I would never be a police officer, because they're all fucking donuts, aren't they? Let's be honest. They're all a certain type of person. If you're a police officer, you're probably just a bully that didn't have you're the school bully that didn't have the authority that you earned through being, I don't know, like a fucking legend at business or something. So you just want to bully people because you put on a uniform. You know what I mean? No disrespect to the police, because I'm sure they actually know, fuck whatever. I couldn't give a fuck. What are we doing here? Goldbridge is the next copper. Oh, is he? That kind of maybe that explains a little something then. Maybe that explains a little something. You know? Anyway, enough about that. So, what manager has been challenged on the overlap, Sean? I don't know. I don't really watch the overlap, to be honest. I don't really watch it. What are we saying then, Luca? That because no one else has been challenged, therefore, if what we're saying by that is that it's just layups and freebies and it's an easy conversation with no challenge, then we should also acknowledge that the value of the interview is irrelevant, right? That's what we should assume. If that's what you're saying. Or are we doing sort of like political stuff here where, you know, Pam Bondi is asked a couple of questions about a certain thing or two right now, and she's like, well, you guys didn't ask about this with the last version of me under the previous government. Okay, that's kind of irrelevant, right? You're in charge now, so you got to answer the questions now. But you didn't ask the last guy this. It's irrelevant. Let's get to the point. Those guys were shameless in shit shows, right? And now you're being shameless in a shit show. But now you're here. We're going to ask you some questions. Because we either dismiss the value of that particular interview as just being mates getting together and having a croissant, and if so, let's not take him on his word. Let's take it on face value, which is a guy who's just having a chat with his mates saying, "Ah, yeah, mate, she didn't want me, but I didn't want her, man. She was ugly anyway. She was shit in bed. You know?" Or did he break your heart? What are we doing here? Speaking of these, Ange, 100%. Get yourself over to the rabbit hole. We got the Spurs 5 tonight, guys, at 8:00. We've got me and Johnny at 4:00 talking about all things. Speaking about all things, let's move away from Ange, because I'm so sick and tired of the guy, to be honest. Like, disappear, mate, with your 8 million quid. Go and put on a constant Barbie, but don't talk about my club anymore, mate. Don't talk about my club unless you're going to be honest and sincere and take some accountability, because I see through it. And if you guys don't, then fair play to you, but I think that you guys are missing the wood for the trees if you listen to that shit. You're either going to come at it with your predisposed, opinions, and that's fine. And maybe I am too, but I was genuinely looking for some sort of relevant information, some nuance, some insight into things that, that I wasn't aware of. And if I'd heard those, the only way I would have taken them seriously is if I'd heard some kind of like bookmarks around that content that acknowledge some things that we all know to be true. That he didn't do fantastically well. He didn't have plan Bs until he was told to have plan Bs, or at least challenge those narratives if those narratives were out there, which they are. But there wasn't anything. So either the interview's bullshit, or it is what it's supposed to be, which is mates around the table having a laugh. But if that's the case, then we don't take that. We don't take that stuff as some sort of gospel, some sort of infallible narrative around why Ange wasn't to blame. Ange is never to blame. It's Ange. He's not to blame. He's out. He's everyone's best mate. Shut up. That's how I feel about it. The man himself is saying, Sean, you're a legend. My conspiracy theory wife absolutely loves you too. Big up to you, mate. Big up to you. Big up to Mrs. Big up to the Mrs. Come and see us in the rabbit hole, mate. If you guys want to come on for a chinwag, we're expanding the audience. We're looking for new guests. We're looking for new guests. So if you fancy reaching out to me on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, if you fancy being on camera and talking about some things, then reach out, my man. Stephen Suff says, well said, Sean. It seems that all journalists ask hard questions and insist they answer them. Truth has become public relations. I just think that the journalists are, I mean, these guys aren't, they're ex-players, right? But like in politics generally, or in like the idea of journalism generally, I feel like the smarter minds or the more experienced minds in the conversation, because it's a battle, right? If you're a politician, then you are taught to do this, right? You can always tell a shill if there's an emerging politician, wherever country you're watching, wherever you're from, if you see some young kid, up and coming kid, or whatever, and you start to see them and they're doing this on interviews, right? You know that they're trained. You know that they're trained by some young leaders of the WEF or whatever else. They're all trained in the art of communication. Journalists, less so. Journalists are trained how to ask good questions, but they're not necessarily trained in the art of how to scramble. And scrambling is is when these people deflect and dodge and dip and all that stuff. You've got to figure out the way to kind of cut through it. And if they're doing this, you know that they're skilled at that game. And politicians and people generally are better at answering questions than the journalists are asking them. And it's a tennis game, right? So like, bat the ball over, they'll bat it back. It's your ball's in your court. You keep going. And I just think that I sit there and watch the shit that I see in politics. I see it and I saw it in this interview today, whenever, and last week as well. And the whole thing is just, it's fine. If it's just supposed to be mates around the breakfast table having a coffee and a donut, fair enough. But let's not then take this guy and go, see, that's evidence that Daniel Levy or whoever is fucking... No, it's not evidence. It's anecdotal. It's perspective. And it's entirely slanted by defense mechanisms of a guy who's a very skilled orator. He's very talented in putting the right words in the right order. But the geezers that have sat around him and the lady... These guys pretend like they're journalists. They pretend like they're supposed to be asking the right questions and the hard questions. They didn't. Gary Neville didn't do it to Daniel Levy either, by the way. All that stuff was scripted. So let's take it on face value, and it shouldn't influence your opinion. It shouldn't. If it does, more for you. Let's move on from that one. We're going for 37 minutes. Got half an hour until Football Inc. starts. I haven't done the redirect yet. I'll do it in a minute. We got to talk about Arsenal. Massive game this weekend, and it got a lot more interesting last night with Wolves doing, I was going to say the unthinkable, but it's not the unthinkable because we've been here before. And we've seen it before. Arsenal they're bottling it. They're on the bottle. They are on the bottle like Butler, They're on the bottle. Guys, it's actually insane. The reaction when they lost the game. Igor Jesus should have been sent off. It's a disgrace, in my opinion. I was watching like 4 or 5 different Arsenal TV type shows as that whole thing went through. Big up to Ryan G. Your boys did a hell of a job last night. A hell of a job. I mean, and Arsenal fans are not enjoying it. The Wolves are getting prepared for life in the Championship. Sorry, Ryan. I know you know this. But they're going down, right? They brought in some players that are getting ready for next seasons in the Championship. They'll come straight back up. So there's no reason. Arsenal should have gone there and smashed them, and they were 2-0 up, and they didn't. Because they're nervous. They are nervous. And you know what? Manchester City, with 12 games over the last 4 seasons, with 12 games left, the final 12 games, they have averaged 30 points per game. 30 points per season in the final 12. Arsenal have averaged 21. So it's still in both teams' hands, right? As technically, if Arsenal beat us, and if Arsenal win every game and City win every game, it comes down to the Arsenal-City game. And if City beat Arsenal, then they'll win it. If Arsenal don't lose, it's theirs, right? Apparently. Obviously, they're both teams will drop points between now and then. But Arsenal have got, Man City in the Carabao Cup final. We'll see who they've got in the Champions League. I myself was guilty of saying just a few weeks ago, I said to my mate Dan Potts on a text, I said, I think you guys have won the quad. I don't think you have, but I don't think they will anymore. Or at least probably not. However, Dr. Tottenham might see them now. And so Sunday is even more consequential than we thought. I think most people assumed that Wolves would lose yesterday. I think most people thought that the Wolves would lose yesterday. And so Tottenham's responsibility was like, if you can grab a point, unlikely, but if you can, it throws the cat amongst the pigeons. But actually now, if we can grab a point or all three against Arsenal on Sunday, we do have the ability to put this entirely in Manchester City's hands. At the same time, if we manage to get all three, but even a point will give us the momentum, will give the fans something to believe that will I think if we're good enough to get a point against Arsenal, I think at that point you kind of sit there and go, well, if you can raise yourself for that, the fans will take to Igor Tudor enough to get us through. And then we've got some decent games coming up after that where we can hopefully get a result or two. And you know what? We might be able to get the 9 points or whatever we need to kind of feel safe from relegation relatively quickly. And once we've done that, then we can put all of our eggs into the Champions League basket. And who knows? I'm not saying we're going to win it. Of course not. But you get it. It's not just about getting past Brugge or getting past Madrid or getting past Juventus or Galatasaray. It looks like it's probably going to be Galatasaray. But if you can get those 9 points early, then you don't have to deprioritize because it's like the Champions. I'm not trying to sit there and sort of say, oh, we haven't got any threats of relegation. We don't. But if we can get the point against Arsenal, or even better yet, take advantage of their fragile selves, and that is going to require 110% effort from the fans on Sunday. It will be. And I hope if you're going and you're listening to this, whether you're watching this live or you're watching this after the fact, we absolutely need to. 1 second, guys. I've just forgotten to do something. We absolutely need to make it the most disgustingly sort of like nasty of all environments. Right, we have to do that. We absolutely have to do that. Let me just find. I'm trying to find here something. I'm trying to find something. Big up to Sababa. I forgot to say thank you for the redirect. He was on for 4 hours this morning, wasn't he? Let me get this thing. I've got to redirect the football link over at 4 o'clock. It has to happen. The Tottenham. 1 second. The Tottenham audience on Sunday has to be obscene. It has to be obscene. And if we can get it done, then we can not only can we stay up, maybe have a Champions League run, but also we can sit there and say, once again, it was Tottenham that fucked you. Even though it's really them that fucked themselves. I'm going, Shawnee boy. I think I'm going. I should be going. At the moment, I'm not sure. I'm probably going to go this weekend, I think. Yeah. Probably going to go. Because it's Arsenal. It might be the last game I go to this season. I'm not even sure if I'm going to renew my season ticket, to be honest. Nikos is live now. Who's Nikos? Oh, Nikos is live, is he? Ah, Nikos is doing some rabbit hole stuff. Get over to tinfoil transmission. My man Nikos going live. He's doing it. He's branching out. My man Nikos is. If you watch the rabbit hole, you'll know Nikos. He's starting his own channel. So get over to tinfoil transmission. It's called on YouTube. Go and support him over there. Big up to him. Yeah, lead judge's clip on AFTV was YouTube cut, wasn't it, Luke? Wasn't it? I love Lee. I love Lee. He's a fucking legend. I met him. I haven't met him in person, but I've streamed with him many times. He's an absolute lovely, lovely guy. What was I going to say to you? Let's talk about some other stuff, guys. Let's talk about some other stuff for the last 15 or so minutes. We've got some stories here. Sam Allardyce, big Sam Allardyce, the Igor Tudor of Britain, has locked in a new relegation prediction as his former club West Ham battle for safety going into the last quarter of the season. Let me bring this up. Let's see what he says. We've got some stories here for us, guys. The Irons' recent form has been... Here we go. I would have said a couple of weeks ago, West Ham are going down. He said on his No Tippy Tappy Football podcast. He's got his own football podcast called No Tippy Tappy Football. Should we have a look at that? How many subscribers? He's got 48,000 subscribers. I better subscribe to that one. There we go. Didn't know that. Anyway, big up to Big Sam. But not now. I say with a change of manager, now Forest. West Ham face Bournemouth in a tough-looking game this weekend, and they then head to Anfield to take on Liverpool. They then have an away game with Fulham, a home clash with City, and an away date with Villa, yada, yada, yada. I haven't gone into much more detail. I personally agree with him. I think I did this before. We've done it on Spurs 5, and we've done it on this channel as well. We went through the predicciones, and I think that Nottingham Forest's fixtures are brutal. I think they're brutal. I don't even think Tottenham need 4 wins. I think Tottenham need 2 wins and a draw. Genuinely, I don't see Forest winning more than like 6 or 7 points out of the rest of their games. I think they've got absolutely... Look, let me get up. You know what? Fuck it. I'll get it up. Pause. Nottingham Forest Football Club. Let's look at their fixtures. Have a look at this. Right. So they've got Fenerbahce away tonight. So they're over in Turkey tonight. Brutal journey back. Then on Sunday, they've got a 2:00 game on Sunday. They've got Liverpool at home. They'll be tired. They'll be shattered. No chance. And I'm pretty sure Marinakis is going to make them fight for the Fenerbahce. It's not an easy game, by the way. Fenerbahce is not. They've got a really good team. Really, really good team. It'll be a cracking game tonight. I'm going to watch that. Oh, it starts in a couple of hours. Perfect. Then they've got, after Liverpool, they've got Fenerbahce at home the following week. Then they've got Brighton away. So Brighton, you never know what you're going to get with Brighton. They're on the decline. But I genuinely think that Brighton might take advantage of Fenerbahce in the Nottingham Forest game and be able to beat them. And they've got Man City on like 0 points for Liverpool, 0 points for Brighton, 0 points for City away. Then you've got Fulham at home. Maybe a point, maybe 3. I don't know. I don't expect Fulham to win there, but you don't know because Fulham are a very good team at the moment. They're better at home, but they can still do things. Then they're coming to us, and hopefully we're going to be able to get the 3 points there. Then you've got Villa. Villa, by the way, back in a title race potentially back in a title race. Let's they're probably not, but they're going to think of it as such. And they haven't even definitely qualified for the Champions League yet. So, if you like, City have got to play Villa later on in the season towards the end, and by that point, Villa might not be in the title race, but might already have secured themselves in the Champions League spots minimum, and then they can focus on the Europa League and go and win that. So, but they're not there yet. So I think that Villa can do a 3 points over Forest there. Sure, they might beat Burnley at home, but maybe not. Sunderland away, don't think so. Chelsea away, don't think so. Newcastle away, Newcastle at home, possibly not. United away, no chance. And Bournemouth at home. There's a good chance that Nottingham Forest might only get 7, 8, 9 points out of the rest of the season. Genuinely, especially if their Europa League campaign continues. I don't think they're going to win the Europa League. And so I genuinely do think that Forest will probably win less points, fewer points than West Ham. I genuinely think that. Genuinely do. So I agree with Sam Allardyce. Let's have a look at the next story. Next story here is Trossard and Bukayo Saka worries. Is this on the screen? Oh, Johnny's in the back.
How you doing, buddy? I messaged you. I messaged you. I only just popped in. I said, if you fancy.
How long have you been here?
Oh, about 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh, sorry, mate. I was looking at the screen. I also thought that my screen was up on. I also thought that my screen was on the screen so people could see the fixtures that they had. I'm completely out of it. How are you?
No. I'm okay. Still like smiling. I mean, should I really be smiling about last night as much as I have? I can't help it. I'm even laughing now. Just the thought of it. How very dare me. How very dare me. I take it you were going through the remaining fixtures. It does look like Forest have the tougher set of fixtures, but as was proved last night, there is no such thing as an easy game.
True.
Burnley pulling results out of the bag. Wolves pulling something out of the bag. There isn't an easy game. On their day, any team can beat any team in the Premier League, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't want a foregone conclusion, but it does mean that our fixtures, Sean, are pretty tasty as well. Yeah, pretty tasty. I don't think anything's going to be easy come for us.
What do you think of the Ange Postecoglou interview, Johnny?
Mate, I had to turn it off. I spent
40 minutes calling him out, mate. I think the geezers are like. I think it's so
honestly.
shameful. It's more shameful of the interviewers, to be honest. They didn't challenge him on any of his
bollocks. Nothing, Sean. Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. 41 defeats in 60 games. And you want to sit there bigging yourself up. Like how great, how the fans all loved you.
Was it 41 in 60, was it? I wasn't sure what
41 in 60, yeah. I think 41 defeats in 60 games. Who can actually even come on and start bigging it up? I mean, it's actually embarrassing. Listen, I understand, if he was to come on and say, I made a lot of mistakes, I should have done this better, I could have done money, I spent the money, I didn't quite buy the right players, I spent 380 million, Daniel gave me more money than any other manager, I could have done things a little differently, and had I done, I might still been in the job. None of that, mate. None of that. I stand by everything I've said.
Yeah,
of course you do, mate.
Of course he does. I lost all respect for I mean, Roy Keane's supposed to be hard bastard. There was nothing but soft questions. Listen, we'll talk about that on the next show.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you this: 15 big name players to leave Tottenham if they are relegated. This is coming from a report, this is from The Athletic, I believe.
Yeah.
That these are the players that. So it says Tudor is a premium alternative to the likes of Tony Pulis and Sam Allardyce, who built reputation domestically on reviving disastrous seasons. Opta's model currently predicts Tottenham's chances of being relegated to just 3.5%. However, Spurs face Arsenal at the weekend at a time when West Ham, the club currently in 18th, play Bournemouth. It's entirely possible Tottenham's gap to the relegation zone is cut from 5 to 2. Here are the 15 players. 15 players that will leave Tottenham in the summer if we get relegated.
Vicario, I booked him a taxi already.
Yeah.
I've already booked him a taxi. Yeah.
Pedro Porro. Yep. Jed Spence?
Nah.
You think Jed Spence would go?
No. Maybe not. No. I mean, hang on a second, right? Who do these players think they are? If they were too good...
Yeah. You're the people that put us in this position, you donuts.
Mate, if you're too good, mate, like what are you talking about? I would believe that someone like Conor Gallagher has got a relegation clause in his contract.
Sure.
Yeah? I wouldn't be surprised. Dejan Kulusevski, I don't believe we'll ever see him again. That's my opinion. James Maddison will never be the player again. Richalison, I could maybe see him going to Saudi. But some of those players need to go anyway. And Mohamed Kudus, mate, you did it for like 8-9 games and then you disappeared up at your own backside, never to be seen again. I mean, look at his goals and assist contributions. Nowhere near any good. Yeah, talent ID shocking. The one person that should be moving out the door already is Johan Lang, because he's had 2.5 years here, Sean, and this is what we've got.
Yeah, he's got to go, mate. He's got to go.
Yeah.
He absolutely has to go, in my opinion. I mean, there's no news around people that are coming in to Tottenham. No news at all.
Who want to come? Listen, as a manager, I think any manager could take this job, would like to take this job. And people would say, why? Because as we've said so many times before, you don't lose anything. Worst happens, you get sacked and you get paid off. And you just add yourself to the long. Hey, hang on. Mourinho and Conte couldn't do it. Look at all the managers that have failed here. Yeah, it's not bad on my CV. And if you do manage to crack it, you'll be a hero. What's there to I mean, look how much Ange is lauded as a hero for the guy who lost 41 games in 60, 41 matches in 60. Yeah, how's that possible?
Well, because he's a salesman, mate.
Yeah, something Johan Lang isn't.
No, Johan Lang is an absolute. Like, come on now. What I mean, of all the jobs for someone like him to take on, as a director of football, are you not? You're in sales, right? You're in sales. You're selling the project at every conversation. You're selling the reason why we're not as bad as people think we are. We're selling the reason why we're better than we. I mean, in life, you have to be a salesman anyway. You've always got you sell yourself to some girl why she should be your wife, to your parents why you're not a disappointment, to your boss why you should get a promotion. You know, you're always selling something.
Life's a sales pitch.
Life is a sales pitch. One giant sales pitch, and how you can navigate through is your ability to pivot the sale 100%. According to the buyer.
People
right?
like you because the way you sell yourself and portray yourself, people like you, or people don't like you because you're an arse. I mean, imagine Johan Lang, you're Sean Butler, international footballer. Hello, Sean. Yes, I'd like you to come to the club. We have a lovely project here. It's an amazing project. Yeah. Let me hand you over to let me show you some whiteboards and some of my project. Yeah.
I have a PowerPoint presentation.
I have a PowerPoint presentation, yes. Yeah, I mean, look, he couldn't inspire me to get out my bed. He's just, it's a serious worry. Serious worry. I'd love to see who interviewed him. I mean, we know Scott Munn did it, and he had the personality of a cardboard box. I mean, come on.
Did he? We don't know. We never saw him.
He was involved.
What was he doing, Johnny? What did he do all day, every day?
I don't know, mate. Cycle to work. Cycle to work. Cycle to work. I swear to you, right?
I saw him his clogs and his fucking lycra.
Oh, my God. I found him at Spurs when there was a protest on, and he happened to be walking past, and I took a picture of him outside on his phone. I mean, honestly, he looked like a gimp.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I think the whole thing's mental. By the way, a couple of transfer stories, and all of them. I'm looking at them. All of them in the last day are all about players that are leaving the football club. Kota Takai, even he. Borussia Mönchengladbach is considering a longer stay for Kota Takai. You have to go all the way back to Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson, according to some reports, are linked from Chelsea to Tottenham once he finishes his loan move. Christian Pulisic. If you ask anyone that's American or that's in the American media, they'll find a way for Pulisic to be among the GOATs of football. I mean, there's nothing for Tottenham fans to get excited about. Felix Nemeka, the giant flop in the Borussia Dortmund game. Marco Senesi. Do you think Tottenham are going to sign Marco Senesi?
No. I don't think anyone want to come. A manager, it's a no-brainer, mate. As a player, who wants to come here? Seriously, who wants to come here? Would you want to come here? I wouldn't.
Well, listen, I think that the notion of just pay them the money and they'll come, I think that has been completely debunked. Right, we saw it with certain players, but I don't know if you can confirm Pochettino. If the day that you leave, if the day that Tottenham are confirmed in the Premier League for next season by April, and then May the 20th, whenever the final game is. Igor Tudor, thank you very much for your time. And then it's all about all of the news is, Pochettino's basically done and dusted, then I think then you might be able to get some sort of idea that Tottenham are going to spend some money in the summer. We didn't spend very much in January. If we do stay up in the Premier League, we will have money from the Champions League. We will have money to spend. We should be able to drop 250 in the summer. And so you bring in a manager that the fans are united behind, at least in principle. I think that you might be able to kind of attract some, especially if there is the wage, like the sales pitch gets a little bit better. As long as you know that you're definitely in the Premier League, will you be able to go and consider yourself amongst the top 6 in terms of like, oh, Arsenal were looking at this guy and United are looking at this guy, like the likes of the Yandy and Mandys, I think you forget about. However, I do think Tottenham will probably go and get someone like Akliouche. I think that, from what we've seen from the whole, we're 180ing on everything that we rejected under Paratici to bring in these guys. Do you think that someone like Akliouche will come to Tottenham in the summer? I think that could be done.
Maybe. Depends where we are, Sean. I mean, you see Football Insider with the usual fanciful things that we are going to bust our guts to spend 100 million on Morgan Rogers. I mean, we all know that Morgan Rogers was our number 1 choice. Morgan Gibbs-White was our number 2 choice. And therefore, then Eze was our number 3. And we slowly went down the pecking order and ended up with who we ended up with. But we're going to have no European football next season unless we win the Champions League. Anything's possible, Sean.
Do you think European football... It didn't affect Manchester United, did it?
Yeah, but they're Man United.
No, I hear you. I hear you on that.
And Chelsea, same thing. They're paying massive money, massive wages. If you're telling me you're going to sign Morgan Rogers and you're going to give him 300 grand a week, then maybe you got a chance.
Because Villa are going to be in the Champions League next season. He's not going to leave unless Villa have got financial issues that they need to sell, right? Unless
they could have.
Even then, he'll go to City or he'll go back to City. By the way, because didn't he come from the City Youth Academy? Didn't he?
Man City, yeah.
So forget about a Morgan Rogers, but let's look at like I don't know, a Murillo from Forest.
Show me the way to Murillo. Yeah. He's
I'll be dancing and biting my pillow.
Oh dear.
But I don't know,
good player.
Do you think that Tottenham could spin if you had a Paul Mitchell, if you had a a Ralph Ranieri, if you had someone like that, you had someone with a bit of a la-ta-ta-ta, do you think they could say, look, Tottenham mean business now? They absolutely mean business. Yes, we're out of Europe, but look what happened to Manchester United. And the year out of Europe allowed them to focus 1 game a week. We're going to be dropping 250, 280. You're the first of several. We're looking to rebuild. You don't think you could? I'm not saying go after a player that every other top 6 is after, but someone where you're the best of the rest.
No, listen. I think you've got to go after your Igor Thiagos. You've got to go for your Murillos before they Murillo and Thiagos. Like, we could have spent 35 million and bought him, Thiago. We could have bought Murillo from Brazil, just like Edu did. It's just our scouting network is absolute shocking. I mean, you look at Solis at Club Brugge, right? Yeah. I mean, there are players out there, Sean.
Yeah, or the guy El Mala.
Yeah, you don't need to. You don't need to go and spend 100 million if they're not going to come. Then you have to get creative, and you have to find the next Morgan Rogers. And I'm not talking about buying 18, 19-year-old kids. I'm talking about players 21, 22 who are already established but not in the top league.
Alex Garcia from Leverkusen, 25 years old, beautiful pass of the ball.
There's loads of players out there. There's loads of players.
That sort of caliber, right? And
listen, we could have gone and booked Lookman, mate. I know we keep going on about it.
100%. I hear you. Anyway. I hear you. By the way, welcome back to the stream to my man Unknown, who on the last stream I did assured me that he didn't care about Ange. He didn't care. But he's come back in today showing his true colours in capital letters. That Europa League win was because of Ange. Europa Champions League money was because of Ange.
Yeah. In case you hadn't noticed,
it's all because of Ange.
In case you didn't know, unknown, during that 26% possession and one dubious shot on target in the worst final known to man, I think there were some players on the pitch. Cuti Romero, man of the match.
And he was
Micky
the person who went like that to Ange in the 70th minute. Big Ange. Now's the time, Big Ange. Now's the time. Oh yeah, mate. Now listen, I'll do it, bro. Get yourself, Kevin Danso. Get on the pitch. Get on the pitch. By the way, mate, it's all me. And fuck the club that paid me $8 million.
Yeah.
Quid.
Who's that guy with the long legs? Who's the guy with the long legs who saved us on the line there? Oh yeah, Micky van der Ven. Right. Who chose him? Who put him in the team? Me. Hey? Me.
What else did he say today, right?
I don't know, mate.
He goes, when he said about the players, he said the players, he said he's not making any excuses. He said, I'm not making any excuses. All he does is make excuses. He said, you'll never change me. I made notes. Listen, he goes, you'll never change me, mate. You'll never change me, mate. You never change.
I'm not for changing, mate.
The players changed you, bro. The players told you to change the system. Otherwise, you wouldn't have won. He also said, mate, I'm a vociferous watcher of football, mate. That's what I do. If there's a game of football on, that's what I'm watching. Again, as I said earlier, so does 99% of all football fans. Johnny, me, everyone that's watching. If there's a game of football on TV or there's Coronation Street.
Does he want a fucking hat? What does he want? Oh, fantastic, Ange. You're telling me you watch football?
Do you? Good.
Yeah, great. Hey? Oh, well, I could sit here and watch game.
He didn't watch the fucking training. Mate, he stayed in his office and watch it on a fucking TV.
And that's the truth, mate. That's the truth. He got his coffee in the morning and went in his office while everyone trained. Mate, I could have sat there and watched Game of Thrones, but no. I watch football, mate. I watch the opposition. I watched who we're playing next week. No, mate, honestly, give me a favour.
Fans never took to me at Forest because it was too close of a proximity to my time at Tottenham.
Yeah.
The fans didn't take to you because you lost every fucking game.
You didn't win a game, bro. Eight in a row, and you won one. You didn't win one, you drew one.
That's like LA L'Apprentice, big up to you, says if Spurs win against Arsenal, Fulham, Palace, we are almost 100% safe by March the 5th and have a run in the Champions League. Tudor can use it as motivation for the players. This is my point, Johnny, right? I know we're looking at this game going, shit. You know, we might get relegated. It's a big risk. If we do manage to take advantage, or last couple of minutes before we
give up the season, mate. Right, we focused. We gave up the league.
If we do get 3 points against Arsenal, or even a point, right? And given the fact that just ruins Arsenal's, especially after what happened last night.
Yeah.
Right. The Tottenham fans, surely they're going to be aware. Of course, they're all going to be aware of what happened last night. Second again, ole. Bottlers again, ole. It's going to be non-stop. It's going to be a rout, I hope, the biggest and the best atmosphere, because we've got two things to fight for. One is their failure and two is our survival, right? But if we get a point, or if we magically get 3, then we go to Fulham. If we get that one done, Johnny, and then you got Palace at home afterwards, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself here. Maybe I sound like I am. But if we get 9 out of 9 or 7 out of 9, something like that, before we have to play a Champions League game, rather than people thinking that the Champions League is suddenly a distraction and like a bit of like irrelevance, all of a sudden you might be able to go, well, I think we're good now. I think we're good, or we're pretty much good. We've got 9 games to play in the Premier League. We probably need one more win to guarantee it. Let's go all in for the Champions League. Let's beat Juve or Gala or Brugge or Atletico, and then we'll get Barcelona or Chelsea in all likelihood in the last 8.
Makes sense.
Why fucking not, Johnny?
Why not? Why not? Shawnee, I'm going to shoot now.
I'll set up. I'll be over in 2 seconds, mate. All right.
Guys, thanks very much. See you over at Football Stink.
See you in a minute, mate. Appreciate you, mate.
Big
up to Daniel Field as well, who has stuck in a super sticker. Big up to you, mate. Choo to you, Daniel. Choo to you, buddy. Appreciate you very much indeed. Guys, listen. Appreciate. Frank doesn't have fanatics, bro. Yeah, there's no one who likes Thomas Frank. I wasn't Thomas Frank's biggest fan. 2 wrongs don't make a right. You know, we fucked up with two signings. Listen, I don't dislike Ange. I can't get on board his coming from a salesman, you know, like they say, you can't kid a kidder, you can't fool a fooler, you can't whatever. That's how I see it. Like, I see through it. You don't have to, but I do. If you believe every word he says, and you're not even going to challenge the motivations of the messenger, then that's fine. I'm never trying to influence anyone else's opinion. I'm just giving you mine. That's the only motivation I have, is to be able to express my own opinion. I love you all. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone. There's 650 people here. I know it's a quiet Thursday. Apologies for the no content the last couple of days, or like 3 of the last 4 days, or whatever it is. Hopefully the hackers are going to fuck off. But if they don't, it doesn't matter. But I've got my new computer coming, and we're going to be doing AI, and it's going to be a load of fun until that gets hacked, and then maybe I'll disappear again for a while, but it's going to be fun. I've got voice AI. I've already cloned Johnny's voice. I've already cloned Lubo's voice. I've got, can I show you? There it is. I've got bald headset. I've got bald wigs, but like, you know what I mean? Bald things. I've got 4 or 5 different wigs going on. It's going to be a lot of fun on this channel coming up very, very soon, guys, once I get it all set up over the next couple of days. But right now, I want you to stay exactly where you are, because we're going to go over to Football Inc. So please come and join us over there. Massive thank you to the Super Chats. Massive thank you to everyone. Please do smash the sub if you haven't already. We're on the march to 43K, I think it is. So any help in that regard is appreciated. And I'll see you tonight at 8 o'clock on Spurs 5. But before then, we're going to go stay where you are. We're going to come straight over to Football Inc. See you there right now. Love you all, guys. Appreciate you.